Derek, if you interrupt me one more time, you can explain the revenue gap to the board yourself. Claire Bennett didn't raise her voice. She never needed to. 12 people sat around the conference table, and every one of them suddenly found something fascinating in their laptops. I kept my hand on the printed forecast in front of me. The gap isn't the problem, I said. The assumptions are. Claire's expression stayed perfectly controlled. Then enlighten us. That was Claire, 32, president of Bennett Strategic, famous for cutting through bad ideas and occasionally the people attached to them. She could turn "good morning" into something that sounded like a performance warning. I tapped the page. Westbridge is projecting 18% growth while cutting customer acquisition spending by 9. Unless they discovered free customers somewhere, this model is fantasy. Mark Phillips from finance shifted in his chair. We already approved the methodology. And the methodology is wrong. Claire leaned back. Derek, I finally raised my eyes to hers. And a woman's voice said clearly inside my head. He looked at me. Okay, act cool. He likes cold women. My mouth stopped halfway open. Claire's face hadn't changed. Not even slightly. She lifted one eyebrow. Are you planning to finish that sentence? I glanced toward Rachel beside me. She was typing. Mark was scrolling through the spreadsheet. Nobody looked confused. Then the voice came again. Why is he still looking? Stop thinking about his eyes. Professional. Be professional. I dropped my gaze to the report so fast I nearly knocked over my coffee. What the hell? Derek? Claire asked. Yeah. Sorry. Her tone sharpened. Sorry isn't data. That sounded too mean. Damn it. Maybe fix it. No, don't fix it. He likes when I'm strict. I pressed my lips together. There was no speaker in the room. Claire wasn't wearing an earpiece. And unless she'd suddenly developed ventriloquism, those words had not come from her mouth. I decided I was exhausted. That explanation lasted maybe 8 seconds. Claire turned toward Mark. Run the sensitivity model again. Mark frowned. Today? Yes. Derek was right. Of course he was right. Annoyingly attractive man with annoyingly accurate spreadsheets. I coughed into my fist. Claire's eyes snapped toward me. Something funny? No. He smiled. I hadn't. Almost smiled. That was worse. Claire closed the folder in front of her. Everyone out except Derek. Half the table moved before she finished the sentence. Rachel passed behind my chair and whispered, "What did you do?" I have no idea. Unfortunately, that was completely true. The door shut. Claire stood and walked to the window, arms folded. You embarrassed finance. They embarrassed themselves. That attitude is exactly why people complain about you. Which people? She turned. Would you like a list? Please say yes. I have exactly 3 names, and I hate all of them. I looked down before my face betrayed me. Maybe later. Claire walked back toward the table. You've been unusually difficult this month. I've always been difficult. Yes, but usually with better timing. And usually you come into my office afterward and argue for 20 minutes. You haven't done that lately. That thought hit differently. Because she was right. I had been avoiding her office. Not because of her. Mostly. I'd applied for an internal transfer 6 days ago. Chicago operations had an opening, and after 3 years of being the guy Claire called whenever something was on fire, I wanted a job where maybe only half the building was burning. I hadn't told anyone yet. Claire picked up my forecast. You were right about Westbridge. Thanks. That wasn't praise. It absolutely was praise. I rubbed my forehead. Claire narrowed her eyes. Are you sick? No. You're acting strange. You ever hear something you weren't supposed to hear? The question escaped before I could stop it. For the first time that morning, her expression shifted slightly. What did you hear? Her voice was calm. Her thoughts weren't. Did he hear about Chicago? No. He can't know I saw it. HR wasn't supposed to send me the transfer notice yet. My fingers tightened around the edge of the table. Chicago. She knew. I forced myself to sound casual. Nothing important. Claire studied me. Liar. Then, softer. Please don't leave. The words landed harder than everything before them. I couldn't make them fit with the woman standing in front of me. Claire Bennett had once sent back my 12-page proposal because one chart label was misaligned. She had told an executive vice president, in front of 40 employees, that confidence is not a substitute for competence. She did not ask people to stay, especially not silently. I stood. I should get back to work. Sit. I stopped. Good. That came out normal. You're keeping me here? I need to discuss your conduct. I need 5 more minutes to figure out why you're transferring. I slowly sat again. Claire opened a drawer, took out a pen, then apparently forgot why she needed it. You have concerns about your role? Should I? No. Yes. Clearly. Why would he apply to Chicago without talking to me? Did I push too hard? Was it the Saturday calls? It was probably the Saturday calls. You call me every Saturday, I said before thinking. Her head lifted. I wanted to punch myself. Claire's eyes narrowed. I'm aware. Right. How did we get onto that? Lucky guess. That was not a guess. Now there was suspicion in her thoughts. Fantastic. Not only could I apparently hear my boss thinking, but my boss was smart enough to notice I was answering questions she hadn't asked. Claire capped the pen. You're not transferring to Chicago. There it was. I leaned forward. Excuse me. Her expression returned to pure corporate ice. The department needs you here. That request hasn't even been approved. I know. How? Executive access. Terrible answer. You went into my HR file. I reviewed staffing changes. That sounds nicer. It is nicer. I laughed once. Claire, you don't get to decide whether I apply. Her jaw tightened. I decide whether this department releases you. Say you're staying, and I'll approve every vacation day you want for the next 5 years. I almost laughed again. Instead, I asked, why do you care so much? Claire answered instantly. Operational continuity. Her mind answered at the same time. Because this place is unbearable when you're not here. That knocked every sarcastic response out of me. Claire must have mistaken my reaction for anger, because her voice softened by half a degree. Derek, this isn't personal. It is painfully personal. I stood again. This time she didn't tell me to sit. I walked toward the door, trying to process exactly how impossible my morning had become. Then one last thought reached me. If he finds out why I hired him in the first place, Chicago will be the least of my problems. My hand stopped on the door handle. I turned back. Claire was already looking down at the Westbridge report. Perfectly composed. Perfectly unreadable. At least from the outside. Claire. Yes. Why did you hire me? Her fingers stopped on the page. And inside my head, her voice became very clear. Oh hell. Claire recovered so quickly, I almost wondered if I'd imagined that last thought. Because you were qualified, she said. Because I recognized your name the second your resume landed on my desk. I kept my hand on the door handle. That's it. What else would there be? Don't ask another question. Were there other candidates? Of course. 27. And I was the best. Yes. Not even close. 2 were better on paper. That almost offended me. I turned fully toward her. You sure? Claire set the report down. Derek, are you having some kind of confidence crisis? No. Just curious. Be curious at your desk. Please leave before I think about the photograph. Photograph? I waited, hoping her mind would give me more. Nothing. Claire pointed toward the door. You may go. Why is he standing there? Go. No, wait. Don't go. This is ridiculous. I walked out before my expression gave me away. By lunch, I had 2 possible explanations. 1, I developed a very specific neurological problem that only produced Claire Bennett's internal monologue. 2, I could actually hear her thoughts. Neither option was comforting, so I tested it. At 1:20, I carried a revised forecast into Claire's office. She was reading an email. I fixed Westbridge. Leave it. I placed the folder on her desk, but instead of stepping back, I leaned over and pointed at the second page. Changed the churn assumption here. Claire's eyes stayed on the numbers. He's too close. I moved half an inch closer. Oh, come on. Interesting. I leaned over a little more. Claire finally raised her head. Do you need something? No. Then why are you practically on my desk? Not that I'm complaining. I straightened immediately. Personal space. Got it. Her expression remained cold. Idiot. Why did you make him move? Test 1. Successful. Unfortunately, it was also extremely entertaining. At 3, I tried again. Rachel Morgan stopped at my desk carrying 2 coffees. You saved me from that Westbridge disaster, she said. Dinner's on me. Careful. I eat expensive food. Then appetizers are on me. I laughed. Claire came around the corner at exactly the wrong, or possibly perfect, moment. Rachel. Rachel turned. Yeah. I need the vendor analysis by 4. It's almost done. Almost isn't done. Why is she buying him dinner? I looked at Claire. Her face could have been carved from marble. Rachel walked away muttering something about dictators. Claire's gaze moved to my coffee. Don't you already have one? Rachel brought it. I noticed. Of course I noticed. I took a deliberately slow sip. Nice of her. Claire's mouth tightened. She should spend less time buying coffee and more time finishing her analysis. And less time flirting with my. Her thought cut off. My what? I nearly choked. Claire noticed. You okay? Perfect. Why is he smiling now? Just good coffee. I can buy coffee. That did it. I turned toward my monitor before she saw me grinning. Claire walked away. I was starting to enjoy this way too much. Then things got weird. At 5:40, an email hit my inbox. Transfer request status, withdrawn. I read it twice. I had not withdrawn anything. I called HR. A woman named Melissa answered. Human Resources. This is Derek Hayes. My Chicago transfer request was withdrawn. Keyboard clicking. Yes, I see that. By who? It shows an administrative cancellation. What does that mean? Another few clicks. You need to speak with your division executive. Of course I would. 5 minutes later, I walked into Claire's office without knocking. She was putting files into her briefcase. You canceled my transfer. No. That was fast. Because I didn't. HR says executive administration canceled it. Claire's expression didn't change. That wasn't supposed to happen until tomorrow. There it was. You knew. I knew your transfer was under review. That isn't what I asked. Watch your tone. Stop managing my tone and answer the question. Her eyes hardened. Sit down. No. He's angry. Great job, Claire. You had no right to touch my application. I didn't. You just thought. I stopped. Claire's brows pulled together. I just what? My pulse kicked. Too close. I said you just told me you knew it was under review. That's not what you were going to say. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. Something is wrong. He's been doing this all day. Claire stepped around the desk. I backed up once before realizing how suspicious that looked. She stopped in front of me. You knew I was thinking about the Saturday calls. Lucky guess. You knew I was going to ask whether you were sick. You were looking at me like I was dying. And just now, I shrugged. You're predictable. Claire actually seemed offended. Predictable? Me? Extremely predictable, I added. He is absolutely lying. I almost smiled. Then her next thought erased it. If he knows about the transfer, Mason may already have contacted him. Mason? I'd never heard the name. Claire moved back toward her desk. Your transfer will be reinstated. That surprised me. When? Tomorrow. And you're okay with that? No. The answer came too quickly. Her eyes flicked toward mine. I mean, operationally, no? Personally, I don't care where you work. That might be the stupidest lie I've ever told. Good, I said. Something in her expression cooled further. Why did he say good like that? Maybe Chicago will be better for me. No. Fresh start. Absolutely not. New people. Rachel is already too many new people. I shoved my hands into my pockets to keep from laughing. Then I pushed one step further. Maybe I'll start dating again. Claire's face remained blank. Her thoughts detonated. Dating who? I bit the inside of my cheek. Claire picked up her briefcase. Your personal life is irrelevant to me. Glad we agree. We absolutely do not agree. I reached the door. Derek. I turned. For half a second, Claire seemed ready to say something real. Instead, she asked, Has anyone contacted you recently about me? That wasn't the question I expected. No. Anyone named Mason Cole? There it was. No. Who is he? Nobody you need to worry about. Yet. The word crawled down my spine. Claire grabbed her coat. This conversation is over. But as I stepped into the hallway, her thoughts followed me one final time. If Mason found out Derek is trying to leave, he'll move sooner. I stopped outside her office. This wasn't just about Claire secretly liking me. Something else was happening. And apparently I was standing in the middle of it. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I opened the message. If Claire Bennett asks about me, don't tell her we spoke. We need to discuss why she really hired you. Mason Cole. I read Mason Cole's message 3 times before locking my phone. By the time I looked back through the glass wall of Claire's office, she was already gone. That should have made the decision easy. Delete the message. Go home. Pretend none of this was happening. Instead, I typed, Who are you? The reply came almost instantly. Someone who knows Claire didn't hire you because of your resume. Don't mention me at work. I hated mysterious people who acted like punctuation cost money. I typed another message. Then tell me now. No response. Perfect. The next morning, Claire was waiting beside my desk before I even put my bag down. You're coming with me tonight. I blinked. Good morning to you too. 7 o'clock. The Halston Foundation dinner. I don't remember volunteering. You didn't. Then I'm busy. You're not. I slowly turned toward her. How would you know? Claire's expression stayed cold. Because I checked your calendar. I almost laughed. You checked my calendar? Her eyes narrowed. I have access to your work calendar. I didn't say work calendar. That got her. Only for a second. Don't be difficult. He caught that. Stop giving him clues. What exactly am I doing at this dinner? Standing next to me. That sounds demanding. It's extremely simple. It will not be simple if Adrian touches my arm again. I caught the name. Who's Adrian? Claire's jaw tightened. I didn't say Adrian. No, but your face did. That doesn't even make sense. How does he keep doing this? I leaned against my desk. Try me. She exhaled through her nose. Adrian Wolf is the son of one of our largest investors. He has been under the mistaken impression that I'm interested in him. And you need me there because? Claire hesitated. Then she said, You're pretending to be my boyfriend. I almost dropped my coffee. Rachel, 3 desks away, definitely heard it because her head snapped up. You're what? Temporary boyfriend. You say that like it's a consulting assignment. It is. Please say yes. I folded my arms. What do I get? Claire stared at me. A free dinner. That's terrible compensation. Fine. I'll approve your Chicago transfer personally tomorrow. That surprised me. Her thoughts arrived immediately. And then I'll spend tonight figuring out how to make him not want Chicago. I smiled. Deal. Her eyes sharpened. Why are you smiling? No reason. That smile is going to ruin my entire evening. At 7, I met Claire outside the Halston Hotel. She wore a dark green dress, understated enough to look effortless and expensive enough to make me reconsider every purchase I'd made in the last year. She looked me over once. You clean up adequately. Oh, wow. I raised an eyebrow. Adequately. Yes. Do not tell him he looks unfairly good in a tuxedo. Thanks. You look adequate too. Her mouth tightened. I deserve that. Inside, she briefed me while we walked. Don't improvise. I always improvise. Tonight you won't. How long have we been dating? 3 months. Where was our first date? Dinner. That's convincing. I should have made notes. You made notes, didn't you? Claire stopped walking. No. Her thoughts screamed. They're in my purse. I bit back a grin. This is going to be fun. It absolutely is not. 10 minutes later, Adrian Wolf appeared. Tall, polished, expensive watch, practiced smile. Claire. His hand touched her elbow. Claire stepped closer to me immediately. Move your hand before I remove it for you. Adrian, she said. This is Derek Hayes. Adrian looked at me like he was reviewing a mediocre acquisition. Your analyst? My boyfriend. Claire said it smoothly. Her thoughts did not. There. I said it. Boyfriend. Don't smile. Why does that sound so good? Adrian laughed. You? His surprise was directed at me. I smiled. Apparently. Claire pinched my arm lightly. Commit to the bit, Derek. I placed a hand at her waist. Her posture remained perfect. Her mind completely fell apart. Oh, okay. That's his hand. Normal. People have hands. Boyfriends have hands there. Breathe normally. I almost lost character. Adrian noticed something between us and frowned. How long has this been going on? 3 months, Claire answered. 4, I said at the same time. Her fingers tightened against my sleeve. 3.5, I corrected. Adrian gave us a suspicious look. Right. Then a woman approached from behind him. Derek. I turned. Blonde, maybe 30, familiar in that frustrating way people sometimes were before your memory caught up. Lauren. Lauren Grant laughed and hugged me. Oh my God. It is you. Claire went very still beside me. Who is she? Lauren stepped back. I haven't seen you since college. Yeah, it's been a while. You vanished after graduation. Work happened. Lauren smiled. We should catch up. Drinks sometime. Claire slid her hand through my arm. Derek's schedule is rather full. Lauren glanced between us. Oh, sorry. Are you too? Yes, Claire said. Very yes. I covered a cough. Lauren smiled awkwardly. Well, good for you. After she walked away, Claire took a sip of champagne. You never mentioned her. I didn't realize my fake girlfriend required a romantic history report. I'm not interested. Did he date her? She was just in my economics class. Claire relaxed by maybe 1%. Good. Then something else hit her thoughts. Stop enjoying this. Mason could be here. My attention sharpened. I scanned the ballroom. Something wrong? Claire asked. No. Then I saw a man near the back entrance watching us. Gray suit. Mid-40s. No drink in his hand. The moment our eyes met, he turned away. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Another message. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Ask Claire about Route 18. I read it once. Then Claire's hand closed around my wrist. Who texted you? Nobody. Her face stayed calm. Her thoughts didn't. Please don't let it be Mason. I locked my phone. What happened on Route 18? Claire's fingers immediately released me. For the first time all evening, she looked genuinely caught off guard. Where did you hear that? I said nothing. And then her thoughts came, low and sharp. He knows about the accident. Claire stepped closer. Derek, we're leaving. Not until you tell me what Route 18 has to do with me. Her eyes flicked toward the back entrance. The gray-suited man was gone. Claire lowered her voice. It has everything to do with you. Then she grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the exit before I could ask another question. Claire didn't release my hand until we reached the parking garage. Get in. She unlocked her car. I stayed where I was. No. Derek, you don't get to drag me out of a ballroom. Tell me Route 18 has everything to do with me. Then switch into boss mode. This isn't the place. Then pick one. Her jaw tightened. He's not getting in unless I give him something. 6 years ago, she said, there was an accident on Route 18. I know. That highway had lived in the back of my memory for years. Rain, twisted metal, a woman trapped inside an SUV. I'd been 24 and stupid enough to crawl through broken glass before the paramedics arrived. Claire studied my face. You remember it? Parts. Of course he does. He remembers saving me. He just doesn't remember my face. That thought punched straight through me. I stepped closer. You were there. Claire didn't answer. She didn't need to. You were the woman in the SUV. Her expression hardened, like the truth itself had offended her. Yes. Why didn't you tell me? Because it wasn't relevant. I actually laughed. You hired the guy who pulled you out of a wreck, and that's not relevant. Because if I told you on your first day, you would have thought I hired you out of gratitude. Did you? No. Her thoughts followed. Not exactly. That sounded convincing. Get in the car. No. Stubborn man. Who is Mason Cole? Claire glanced toward the garage entrance. He worked for my father. Doing what? Corporate security. And now he sends cryptic texts to your fake boyfriend. Her head snapped toward me. He contacted you. I realized my mistake immediately. Claire held out her hand. Give me your phone. Absolutely not. Derek. Claire. I'm serious. So am I. If Mason told him about the file, this is already worse than I thought. What file? The words escaped. Claire went completely still. Damn it. What file? I repeated, trying to make it sound intentional. Her eyes narrowed. I never said there was a file. Lucky guess. That excuse is getting old. She stepped closer until there was barely a foot between us. How are you doing that? Doing what? Answering questions I haven't asked. Mentioning things I haven't told you. Knowing what I'm about to say. And somehow knowing when I'm jealous, which is humiliating. My mouth twitched. Claire caught it. There. Again. I have no idea what you're talking about. You're lying. So are you. That landed. I took out my phone and showed her Mason's message about Route 18. Her face changed immediately. Block him. Why? Because he's dangerous. Dangerous how? He believes you have something. What? I don't know. I know exactly what. I shoved the phone back into my pocket. Okay, I'm done. Claire frowned. With what? This. I gestured between us. The secrets. The fake explanations. You messing with my transfer while pretending it's operational continuity. I told you I would reinstate it. I don't want Chicago anymore. Her thoughts brightened instantly. Thank God. I'm quitting. Her expression changed. What? I'll send HR my resignation tonight. No. I gave a humorless laugh. That wasn't a request. You are not resigning. Watch me. No. No. No, no. I started toward the elevator. Claire followed. Derek, stop. I've spent 3 years letting you order me around because you signed my paycheck. Easy solution. Stop taking your paycheck. This is bigger than your job. Exactly. The elevator doors opened. Claire caught my sleeve before I stepped inside. It wasn't dramatic. She simply held on. But Claire Bennett didn't hold on to people. Don't, she said. Her voice was quieter now. Then I heard the part she couldn't say. You can hate me. Just don't disappear where I can't protect you. I turned. Protect me from what? Claire released my sleeve immediately. I didn't say that. I was tired of pretending. No, you didn't. Her eyes searched my face. What does that mean? The elevator doors closed behind me without either of us entering. I could tell her. I could say, somehow I hear every ridiculous thing you think when I stand near you, including the coffee jealousy, including the fake boyfriend panic, including the fact that she apparently cared whether I vanished. But if I told her now, she might never think freely around me again. I mean, you're acting like I'm in danger. You might be. From Mason? Among other people. Who? Claire rubbed a hand across her forehead. My father's company had an internal investigation 6 years ago. Financial fraud. Bribery. Someone tried to move evidence before federal investigators could get it. And Route 18. The accident happened the same night. You're saying it wasn't random. I'm saying the police report was incomplete. That was worse. Why would I matter? Claire hesitated. Because you took my bag out of the car. My chest tightened. A memory surfaced. Rain. Smoke. A black leather bag lying in the road. I'd grabbed it because I thought it belonged to the injured woman. I took your bag. Claire's face drained of color. How did you know that? I couldn't answer. She stepped back. There is no possible way he remembers that. He was unconscious when the paramedic handed it back. My phone buzzed again. Mason. This time it was a photo. An old photograph showed me standing beside an ambulance on Route 18, soaked in rain, blood running down my forearm. In my hand was the black leather bag. Underneath, Mason had written, Claire never told you what was inside. Ask why someone tried to kill her for it. Claire saw enough of my screen to understand. Give me the phone. No. Derek, this isn't a game. I know. I backed away from her. And tomorrow morning, my resignation is going to HR. Her expression became the coldest I'd ever seen. Submit it. I blinked. She continued, I'll reject it. You can't reject a resignation. Try me. Her thoughts were much less controlled. If I have to lock his laptop, cancel his badge request, and personally sit in front of the elevator, he is not leaving until Mason is dealt with. Despite everything, I nearly smiled. You're insane. I've been called worse. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. Claire's face sharpened. Don't answer. I did. Hello. A man spoke. Derek Hayes. I watched Claire. Yes. This is Mason Cole. If Claire is standing beside you, walk away before I tell you what she's been hiding for 6 years. Claire reached for the phone. I moved it away. Mason continued. She didn't find you by accident, Derek. I already knew that much. Then he added, she's been tracking you since the night you saved her. Tracking me how? Claire reached for my phone again. I stepped away. Derek, hang up. Mason laughed softly through the speaker. Still giving orders, Claire? You're on speaker now, I said. Claire's expression turned lethal. Mason continued. Ask her how she knew where you worked before Bennett Strategic. Ask why your application landed directly on her desk. I looked at Claire. Answer him. Not here. That excuse is getting old. Because the truth sounds worse without context. Then give me context. Her eyes narrowed. Mason went quiet for a beat. That was interesting, he said. She didn't say anything. Damn. Claire noticed too. I ended the call. What are you hiding? She asked. We're discussing your secrets, not mine. Derek, did you track me? Claire glanced around the garage, then unlocked her car again. My apartment. 20 minutes. I'll show you everything. No more partial truths? No. Her thoughts contradicted her immediately. Not everything. I gave her a flat look. Claire frowned. What? Nothing. 25 minutes later, I was standing in a downtown apartment that looked exactly like Claire, expensive, organized, and apparently designed by someone who feared unnecessary pillows. She walked into a home office and unlocked a cabinet. Then she placed a folder in front of me. My name was printed across the tab. Derek Hayes. That's not creepy at all. It's a security file. It has my name on it. That's generally how files work. I opened it. My college graduation date. My first job at Kramer Logistics. 2 addresses. Public employment records. Even an old newspaper clipping from Route 18. A photo showed firefighters surrounding the wreck. You kept this? Yes. 6 years? Yes. 5 years, 10 months, 19 days. I looked up. Claire immediately became interested in the cabinet. Despite everything, that thought almost got me. Why? She crossed her arms. After the accident, My father's security team interviewed everyone at the scene. You had removed me from the vehicle and recovered my bag. What was inside? A flash drive. Finally, what was on it? Internal financial records. Payments routed through shell companies. Names of executives taking kickbacks. Enough evidence to destroy several people. And Mason? He was supposed to protect it. Instead, he disappeared 2 weeks later. I flipped through the file. So you thought I had the drive? No. Police returned the bag to my family. Without the drive, I stopped turning pages. The thought came clearly. The drive wasn't there. Claire's face changed. I didn't say that. No. I closed the folder. But it wasn't. She moved closer. How do you know? Keep talking. No. We're past that. Is he reading my face? He can't be reading my face that accurately. Claire. Derek. You want me to stay? Give me the truth. That worked. She stepped back. The drive was missing. Did you think I took it? For about 3 days. Great. Then I had you investigated. Even better. You were 24, living with 2 roommates, carrying $12,000 in student loans, and driving a Honda with a broken passenger window. That Honda had personality. Her mouth almost moved. I love that stupid car. I caught that. You saw it. Claire realized too late what I meant. At the time, you met me after the accident? No. Her thoughts betrayed her. Once. I leaned forward. When? She rubbed her temple. Hospital parking lot. I waited. Claire finally gave up. You were leaving physical therapy. I wanted to thank you. But you didn't. You were arguing with a parking meter. I remembered that day. That machine stole $6. You threatened to report it to the Attorney General. It committed theft. A tiny laugh escaped her. It was so unexpected I forgot the argument for half a second. Then her expression tightened again. I decided you deserved to move on without being dragged into my family's mess. So you watch from a distance. I checked periodically. For 6 years. Not constantly. Every few months. I raised an eyebrow. Defined periodically. That's irrelevant. Uh-huh. I opened the folder again. Near the bottom was my application to Bennett Strategic. A handwritten note appeared beside my name. Interview personally. You did hire me because of Route 18. No. Claire. I interviewed you because of Route 18. I hired you because you spent 40 minutes telling me our supply chain strategy was outdated. It was outdated. I know. That was the moment I realized he was exactly the same impossible man. I looked down before she caught my reaction. Then I found another photograph. Not Route 18. It showed me leaving Bennett Strategic 2 years ago. Why is this here? Claire took it from me too quickly. That shouldn't be in the folder. Who took it? Security. Why? Her thoughts changed completely. No embarrassment. No hidden affection. Fear. Because someone else had started watching him. My stomach tightened. Claire. She walked to the window. About a year after you joined the company, we intercepted communications mentioning you. From who? We never confirmed. Mason? Possibly. So instead of telling me, you kept me close. Yes. Is that why you blocked Chicago? I didn't block it. You knew it would be blocked. She said nothing. I laughed without humor. You know what? Mason was right. Her head turned. You don't trust me enough to tell me anything until I drag it out of you. That's not fair. You have a 6-year file on me. I was trying to keep you safe. By controlling where I work. By keeping you where my security team could protect you. And you thought I'd just accept that? No. Her voice finally cracked through the corporate calm. I thought you'd leave if you knew. That stopped me. Her thoughts came softer. And I couldn't stand the idea of watching him walk away twice. I didn't know what twice meant. Before I could ask, my phone buzzed. A message from Rachel. Derek, weird question. Are you with Claire? Someone broke into your desk after you left. Security found your drawers open. I showed Claire. She grabbed her phone immediately. Then another message arrived. This one from Mason. They're looking for the drive now. I typed back. I don't have it. His answer came seconds later. You did. You just never knew it. Claire read the message over my shoulder. What does that mean? I have no idea. Then an old memory hit me. The ambulance. A paramedic taking Claire's bag. Something small on the wet pavement. I had picked it up and shoved it into my jacket pocket without thinking. My mother had kept that jacket in a storage box after I moved. Claire caught my expression. What? I grabbed my keys. I think I know where the flash drive is. Her thoughts hit me before she spoke. Then Mason knows too. Your mother still lives in Brookfield? Claire was already grabbing her coat. I stopped at the door. How do you know where my mother lives? She gave me a look. You just spent 20 minutes reading a security file with your addresses in it, right? Somehow that's become normal. It shouldn't be. And this is definitely not how I imagined meeting his mother. I turned slowly. Claire caught my expression. What? Nothing. Stop doing that. Doing what? That face. What face? The face you make when I haven't said anything and somehow you're reacting anyway. I opened the door. We have bigger problems. Yes, we do. Like the fact that Derek might be psychic. My foot almost missed the hallway. Okay, that was getting dangerous. 40 minutes later, Claire pulled into my mother's driveway. I had called ahead and given Mom the shortest possible explanation. I needed an old jacket from storage, and yes, I was bringing someone from work. That was a mistake. Mom opened the door before we reached it. Derek. Then she noticed Claire. Her entire expression changed. Oh, Mom. Claire offered her hand. Claire Bennett. Mom ignored the hand and hugged her. Claire's arms stayed awkwardly at her sides. What do I do? Hug back. Yes. Normal humans hug mothers. She carefully hugged Mom back. I coughed to hide a laugh. Mom released her. You're Derek's boss. Yes. The scary one. Mom. Claire's eyes moved to me. Scary? He talks about me? Storage, I said quickly. Mom pointed downstairs. Blue bins. And don't leave without eating. We won't stay long, I said. Claire answered at the same time. Of course. I glanced at her. His mother invited me to dinner. This is going better than expected. I nearly walked into the basement door. Downstairs, I started opening boxes. Claire watched me. Then her thoughts became suspiciously deliberate. Purple elephant. I stopped. What? I looked at her. Claire's face was neutral. Purple elephant wearing roller skates. I slowly reached into another box. Oh, she was testing me. Derek Hayes secretly collects porcelain dolls. I snorted. Claire folded her arms. Interesting. What? I didn't say anything. You were looking at me. I was thinking about inventory reports. Liar. Derek is extremely handsome when annoyed. I dropped a stack of old magazines. Claire's eyes widened slightly. Got me. She stepped closer. What exactly is happening? Nothing. Don't insult me. He reacted to that one. I kept searching. Claire followed. Can you hear me? I grabbed another box. Hear you talking right now? Unfortunately, I wasn't talking. I stopped. There was no way around it anymore. Claire stood 5 feet away, studying me with the same expression she used when someone presented numbers that didn't add up. Since when? I exhaled. Yesterday morning. Her face remained calm. Her thoughts exploded. Oh my God. Claire. He heard everything. Not everything. Her eyes widened. I immediately regretted speaking. You just answered me. Yeah. You can hear my thoughts. Apparently. The meeting. Yes. The coffee. Yeah. Rachel. Unfortunately. Claire covered her face with both hands. I had never seen her do anything remotely like that. This cannot be happening. I'm not exactly thrilled either. Her hands dropped. You heard what I thought at the Halston dinner? Some of it. Her cheeks actually turned pink. His hand on my waist. I rubbed the back of my neck. That too. Oh God. I tried not to. How do you try not to hear thoughts? I don't know. Think quieter. That is not how thinking works. From upstairs, Mom shouted. Everything okay? Fine, we both yelled. Claire lowered her voice. You invaded my privacy. I didn't ask for this. But you tested it. I hesitated. That was scientifically necessary. You flirted with Rachel to test whether I was jealous. Technically, Rachel flirted with me. Claire pointed at me. I knew it. Then she realized what she'd admitted. I smiled. Interesting. Don't. Very interesting. Derek, you were jealous. I was evaluating an inappropriate workplace interaction. I laughed. She glared at me. I was catastrophically jealous. My smile widened. Stop listening. I can't. Try harder. You're thinking loudly. That isn't a thing. It is with you. She turned away, muttering something about workplace violations. Then I saw it. An old gray jacket beneath a pile of winter clothes. That's it. I pulled it free. The right pocket was empty. Left pocket contained a receipt, so faded I couldn't read it. Then my fingers found a small tear in the lining. Something hard was inside. Claire crouched beside me. I ripped the seam open. A tiny black flash drive dropped into my palm. Neither of us joked anymore. That's it? I asked. Claire nodded. 6 years. I turned it over. Can we open it? Not here. Why? Because if Mason is telling the truth, whoever wants this may know where your mother lives. That thought made my blood run cold. We went upstairs immediately. Mom had already put food on the table. We have to go, I said. She frowned. You just got here. I know. Work emergency. Claire stepped forward. Mrs. Hayes, would you mind staying with a friend tonight? Mom looked between us. Is Derek in trouble? Claire hesitated. I heard the answer in her mind. Because of me, yes. Precaution, Claire said. Mom crossed her arms. You're a terrible liar. Runs in management, I said. Claire elbowed me. 20 minutes later, Mom was heading to my aunt's place. Claire and I returned to her car. Before she started the engine, she turned toward me. One rule. What? You do not repeat anything personal you hear in my head. Agreed. And you stop deliberately testing me. Probably. Derek. Fine. She started the car. Then deliberately thought. I have never imagined kissing Derek in my office. I looked out the passenger window. Seriously? Claire smiled. An actual smile. I knew it. You cheated. I was testing a hypothesis. That's my line. Her smile disappeared when her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered through the car speakers. Mason. His voice filled the car. You found it. Claire gripped the steering wheel. How do you know? Because I wasn't the only person watching Derek's mother's house. I turned toward the windows. Mason continued. You two need to move. Now. A black SUV rolled slowly past the end of the driveway. Claire's thoughts came sharp and immediate. They found us. Then the SUV stopped. Drive. Claire didn't need me to say it twice. The car shot backward, tires biting into the driveway before she swung onto the street in the opposite direction from the black SUV. I twisted around. They're following. I noticed. Who are they? If I knew, this would be easier. Please don't let them have another car. Claire accelerated through a yellow light. The SUV made it through behind us. Mason, I said into the phone, you want to be useful? I'm trying. Try harder. Take the flash drive to Bennett headquarters. Security can lock the building down. Claire cut in. No. Why? Mason asked. Because somebody inside Bennett has been feeding information out for years. That was new. I turned toward her. Someone inside the company? Later. You really need to stop saying later. He's right. Not helping. Mason gave a humorless laugh through the speaker. You two are adorable. Shut up. Mason, we said together. We lost the SUV near downtown after Claire made 3 turns that definitely weren't taught in driver's ed. An hour later, we entered Bennett headquarters through the underground garage. Claire took the flash drive to an isolated computer in a security office. No network connection. No wireless access. She inserted it. Folders appeared. Payments. Contracts. Internal emails. And names. Claire leaned toward the screen. That's impossible. What? She pointed. Martin Bennett. Her uncle. Chairman of Bennett Strategic. My stomach dropped. Your uncle was involved? According to this, he authorized the payments. And he's the one who approved Derek's transfer cancellation. I turned. Martin canceled Chicago. Claire's eyes snapped toward me. Then she remembered. Right? Thoughts. You thought Mason did it. I did. So your uncle wanted me here. Apparently. Why? Her answer came immediately. Because if you left my division, I might start asking why. That explained too much. Claire copied the files onto an encrypted security drive. We go to federal investigators. Tonight. Tonight. The office door opened. Martin Bennett walked in. He was 60, silver-haired, and usually looked like he belonged in a magazine advertisement for private banking. Tonight, he looked tired. Claire. She moved in front of the computer. Martin. His eyes shifted to me. Derek. You've caused quite a bit of trouble. Story of my life. Claire's hand brushed mine behind her back. Don't tell him we found it. Martin looked at the computer. You recovered something that belongs to the company. No, Claire said. We recovered evidence. His expression barely changed. You don't understand what you're looking at. I understand shell companies. Your father understood too. That's why he buried the investigation. Claire's thoughts jolted. He's lying. I heard it instantly. Martin continued. Give me the drive. No. Claire, don't destroy this family over a misunderstanding. She laughed once. You tried to bury Derek in my department because you thought he had it. I protected him. By having people follow his mother? Martin's face changed. Just enough. Claire saw it. So that was you. I didn't authorize anyone to threaten Mrs. Hayes. But you knew. He didn't answer. I pulled out my phone. Martin noticed. Don't. Already recording. That was a lie. But Martin believed it. His eyes hardened. You have no idea how much damage those files can do. Sounds like something investigators should decide. Martin stepped toward me. Claire moved between us. Don't. One word. No corporate politeness. Martin stopped. For the first time, I understood why senior executives were afraid of her. He looked at Claire. You're willing to throw away your career for an analyst? Claire's face became unreadable. He has nothing to do with this. Her thoughts came at the same time. I would burn every title I have before I let them touch him. My chest tightened. Martin smiled coldly. Then prove it. The next morning, Claire did exactly that. Just not the way I expected. Every senior executive was called into an emergency meeting. Martin wasn't there. Federal investigators had received copies of the files overnight, but the board didn't know that yet. Claire stood at the head of the table. I sat halfway down. She didn't look at me. Effective immediately, she announced. Derek Hayes is being transferred to our Seattle office. My head snapped up. Rachel whispered, What? Claire continued. He will have no involvement in Bennett executive operations or the ongoing internal review. I heard her thoughts beneath every word. Fight me. My jaw tightened. Come on, Derek. You're transferring me? Claire finally met my eyes. Yes. Say no. You canceled Chicago, and now you're sending me to Seattle? The situation changed. Get angry. You could have told me. This decision doesn't require your approval. Tell me I'm impossible. I pushed my chair back. Claire's thoughts became desperate. Don't accept it. I understood. She was separating me publicly from the investigation, making me useless as leverage. But I was done letting Claire decide what danger I was allowed to face. I picked up the transfer order sitting in front of me. Her eyes stayed on the paper. Rip it. So I did. Right down the middle. Several executives reacted at once. Claire's mouth almost twitched. Thank God. I decline. Board member Stephen Ross leaned forward. You don't decline an executive transfer. I just did. Claire crossed her arms. Derek, leave the room. No. Good. Leave. No. God, I love this stubborn idiot. That one almost derailed me. I pointed toward the board. You're pretending I'm being transferred because of performance or restructuring. I'm not. Stephen's face tightened. Be careful. Why? You planning to transfer me too? Claire cut in. Derek. But her thoughts told me exactly what she needed. Make them react. Someone here knew Martin was coming last night. So that was the game. I looked around the table. Martin Bennett is under federal investigation. 3 people reacted with shock. One didn't. Stephen Ross. He reached for his phone. Claire saw it too. Security, she said. The doors opened immediately. Stephen stood. You have no authority. I'm president of this company. You won't be by tonight. Claire smiled without warmth. We'll see. 2 security officers approached Stephen. His phone lit up on the table. A message preview appeared. Mason, don't contact me again. It's over. I looked at Claire. Mason had been talking to Stephen. Before anyone could speak, my phone vibrated. A text from Mason. You got the wrong man. Ross is dirty, but he wasn't behind Route 18. Claire still hasn't told you who ordered the crash. I raised my eyes. Claire was watching me now. And for once, I didn't need her thoughts to know she was afraid of what I'd just read. I handed Claire my phone. She read Mason's message and closed her eyes for a second. Conference room. Now. Claire. Please. That word got me moving faster than any order she'd ever given. We left Stephen with security and went into the smaller conference room across the hall. Claire locked the door. Who ordered the crash? I asked. My father. I expected her thoughts to follow. Nothing came. I waited. Still nothing. What? 6 years ago, my father discovered I was copying records from Martin's accounts. He believed I was taking them to federal investigators. You were? Yes. And he tried to kill you? He ordered someone to stop me from reaching Washington. I don't know whether he specifically ordered the crash. I waited for the voice inside my head. Nothing. Claire frowned. Why are you making that face? I can't hear you. What? Your thoughts. She blinked, then deliberately stared at me. I heard absolutely nothing. Claire's expression changed. It stopped. Apparently. When? I don't know. Maybe 5 minutes ago. She folded her arms. Good. That irritated me more than it should have. Good. Yes. I'd like ownership of my internal monologue again. Fair. I waited. Claire waited. This was awful. For 2 days, I'd gotten used to having two versions of her. The ice-cold executive everyone saw, and the chaotic woman underneath who worried about coffee. Rachel, my transfer, and whether her mother hug technique was acceptable. Now I only had Claire Bennett again. Unreadable. She sat down. My father died 3 years ago. Martin inherited control of the board. I spent years believing Martin arranged the accident because the payments led to him. But your father did. Yes. Why didn't you tell me? Because you already had enough reasons to regret saving me. I pulled out the chair opposite her. I never regretted it. You didn't know what it cost. It cost me one ruined jacket and $6 to a criminal parking meter. Her mouth moved slightly. I missed hearing the thought behind it. That surprised me. I complained about the invasion of privacy, but without it, I suddenly couldn't tell whether she wanted me close or gone. Federal agents arrived before noon. Stephen Ross was questioned. Martin was located at a private airport outside the city before he could leave the country. Mason turned over years of communications in exchange for cooperation. The investigation wasn't magically finished in a day, but Bennett's strategic survived. Claire did too. Technically. Personally, she became impossible. For the next 3 weeks, she barely spoke to me unless work required it. No strange thoughts. No accidental jealousy. No fake dating. Just emails. Derek, revise page 6. Derek, meeting moved to 2:30. Derek, approved. That last one was especially disturbing. Claire never approved anything without changing at least one comma. So I made a decision. I accepted a job offer from a consulting firm in Denver. Not because I wanted to escape her, because I needed to know whether she would actually ask me to stay when I couldn't hear the answer in her head. My final Friday arrived. Rachel hugged me near the elevator. You're really leaving? Looks that way. Claire, no. She signed the paperwork. Rachel made a face. That woman is an idiot. Careful. She can smell insubordination. Tell her I said it. The elevator doors opened. I stepped inside with my box. A hand caught the door. Claire. She walked in. The doors closed behind her. Going somewhere. I glanced at the box. Grocery shopping. Funny. I've been told. She pressed the stop button. The elevator halted. Seriously? You weren't answering my emails. You sent me a spreadsheet. It required acknowledgement. I acknowledged it spiritually. Claire exhaled. Then she reached for my box. I pulled it away. What are you doing? Put it down. Why? Because I need to talk to you. I set the box down. All right. She opened her mouth. Nothing. No thoughts. No secret commentary. Just Claire. You're leaving, she said. You signed my resignation. I signed hundreds of things. You wrote approved. That was a clerical error. I laughed. Claire. Her fingers tightened around the strap of her handbag. You told me the ability was gone. It is. You can't hear anything? Nothing. She studied me carefully. Then she asked, what am I thinking right now? No idea. Good. Why? Because I've spent 3 weeks waiting to make sure. That hit me. Make sure of what? That you couldn't hear this before I said it. My heartbeat kicked. Claire stepped closer. I hated that you could hear my thoughts. Understandable. You heard things I wasn't ready to say. Also understandable. You enjoyed the Rachel situation far too much. That was objectively hilarious. It was not. I smiled. There she is. Claire almost smiled back. Then she became serious again. I knew who you were before I hired you. I watched from a distance because I wanted to make sure what happened on Route 18 never followed you. Then you walked into my interview, criticized my company for 40 minutes, and somehow made me forget every question I'd prepared. I remember. You were incredibly annoying. Still am. Yes. She took another step. And somewhere between you fighting finance, stealing my coffee, and refusing to be intimidated by me, protecting you stopped being the reason I wanted you around. I didn't joke this time. So what was the reason? Claire looked annoyed. At herself, probably. But I couldn't know anymore. That made what came next matter more. You. One word. No mind reading required. I wanted you around because you were you. I leaned against the elevator wall. Interesting. Don't make me regret this. Wouldn't dream of it. I'm serious, Derek. So am I. She glanced at my box. Don't go to Denver. Why? You know why. No. Her eyes narrowed. I smiled. I can't hear you anymore, Claire. If you want me to stay, you have to actually say it. She muttered something under her breath. What was that? You're enjoying this. Immensely. Claire stepped directly in front of me. Fine. I want you to stay. As your analyst? No. As your fake boyfriend? Her cheeks colored. Definitely not fake. There it was. I grinned. Claire pointed at me. And one more thing. What? You do not like cold women. I don't. No. I spent 3 years acting like an emotionally unavailable refrigerator because I thought that was your type. I laughed so hard she shoved my shoulder. You could have asked. That would have required discussing feelings. Terrifying. Exactly. I caught her hand before she pulled it away. So what is my type? Claire's confidence disappeared for half a second. This time there was no secret voice telling me what she hoped I'd say. I had to say it because I meant it. You. Her fingers tightened around mine. Even without the mind reading. Especially without it. Claire reached behind her and pressed the elevator button. The doors opened. She picked up my box. Where are you taking that? My office. I'm not working tonight. Neither am I. I raised an eyebrow. Claire walked away with my belongings. Dinner, Derek. Are you asking me on a date? She kept walking. Yes. Wow. Personal growth. Keep talking and I'm canceling. I followed her. No, you won't. Claire glanced back with the smallest smile. And for once, I had absolutely no idea what she was thinking. I liked it better that way.